Welcome students to the SRBPS virtual classroom program. I'm Prerna Rathi, your biology teacher. I hope you are making full use of our YouTube channel and learning through it. So students, let us start today's class. Today we will be dealing with environmental issues part 2. In today's lecture, we shall be concerned with water pollution, sources of water pollution, eutrophication, biological oxygen demand, integrated wastewater treatment, solid waste and its disposal. Let us start with water pollution. As we have already discussed, any undesirable change in the physical, chemical, or biological property of water is known as water pollution. The important water pollutants are the sewage waste from the domestic areas, industrial waste, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides which are added as a runoff from the agricultural land. What is the effect of water pollution on biodiversity? First, the sewage waste directly released into the water sources stimulates the increase of pathogenic microbes, which leads to formation of many waterborne diseases, also is very harmful for the aquatic life. The nutrition enrichment in water results in eutrophication, algal bloom, and it increases the BOD, biological oxygen demand. All these three topics, that is eutrophication, algal bloom, and BOD, shall be discussed in detail later. The pesticides that enter the water resources lead to biomagnification in our body also, and they are very harmful for our metabolism. The industrial waste having heavy metals and chemicals released to water destroys aquatic life of that particular water body. If mercury enters the human beings through a food chain through the water pollution, it can cause a very severe disease called the Minamata disease, which is caused by the toxicity of mercury. Let us now discuss the various sources of water pollution. The basic sources have been categorized into the domestic sewage, agricultural runoff, and industrial waste. Let us discuss them one by one. What is domestic sewage? It has three parts. It has the suspended solids, which can be easily separated by filtration. It has colloidal particles, which require chemical treatment, and dissolved material, which require a very important sewage treatment plant. Then we have agricultural runoff. It mainly consists of the fertilizer residues and pesticide residues which are added in excess in order to improve the agricultural output. The industrial waste. This is a major water pollutant. It consists of the chemical pollutants and physical pollutants. The chemical pollutants can be organic compounds like phenols, dyes, etc. Inorganic compounds like lead, cadmium, mercury, copper, which can cause toxicity of these heavy metals. On the other hand, physical pollutants like the waste of the thermal power plant, that is hot water, can completely eliminate the flora and fauna of the adjoined land. Then the oil spills present in the water bodies can also spoil the aquatic life. Let us now discuss what is eutrophication. Eutrophication is basically the aging of a lake or a water body. This process includes the increase in the algal production in water due to the nutrition enrichment. Fine. So slowly as a lake or a water body ages, the organic matter will keep on increasing. Due to the increase in the organic matter, as you can see in this diagram, the bottom of the lake or the water body keeps on rising, and within a period of like 150 years to 200 years, it is converted into a land body. This is known as eutrophication. In the present scenario, the eutrophication can be increased by multiple times by the process called accelerated eutrophication because of the dumping of industrial and domestic waste into water bodies. What is biomagnification? The gradual increase of toxic material in a food chain is known as biomagnification. The accumulation of non-biodegradable substances like heavy metals and other chemicals in a food chain. For example, if you can discuss, the grasses and fodder have 0.01 parts per million of a particular chemical. The sheep, goat, cow which feed on this have 2 parts per million, which is little more than the grasses. The human beings that consume various animal products have 10 ppm, 10 parts per million. So, hence we can see that it keeps on increasing from one trophic level to another. This increase in the chemical concentration over different trophic levels is known as biomagnification. What do you mean by BOD, or the biological oxygen demand? It is the amount of oxygen required for the breakdown of biodegradable organic matter in 1 liter of a solution. Higher the BOD, more will be the pollution. Just listen very carefully what happens. जितना ज़्यादा पोल्यूशन होगा, जितना ज़्यादा टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंस रहेगा, उसके ब्रेकडाउन के लिए उतनी ही ज़्यादा ऑक्सीजन की रिक्वायरमेंट रहेगी. यानी अगर किसी वाटर सोर्स का BOD हाई है, इट पैरेलली मीन्स दैट इट इज़ एक्सट्रीमली पोल्यूटेड. लोअर द BOD refers to lower the amount of pollution. What do you mean by algal bloom? The extensive growth of phytoplankton algae on the water body surface is known as algal bloom. It causes fish mortality, it causes pollution of water, it breaks the oxygen contact of the water body and hence makes it very toxic. Now let us discuss the integrated wastewater treatment. In order to discuss the integrated wastewater treatment, let us take a special case of Arcata of California. This wastewater treatment was developed in the Humboldt University. It used the conventional methods, like first step was sedimentation, which led to the elimination of all the heavy waste. Then filtration, step by step filtration. Then third one, use of chlorine treatment, that's a chemical treatment. Also appropriate use of plants, fungi, bacteria to neutralize and absorb, assimilate a few pollutants which cannot be removed by the other processes like sedimentation, filtration and chemical treatment. One such treatment is also used in India, which is EcoSan, ecological sanitation. These are the toilets that are developed in Kerala in India in order to prevent pollution by the fecal matter. Let us now discuss solid waste and its disposal. What do you mean by solid waste? The discarded solid materials, which can either be biodegradable or non-biodegradable, are known as solid waste. There are different types of solid waste that are produced in our daily life. For example, the municipal solid waste like the defecation matter, etc. Industrial waste, dyes, resins, all this. Hospital waste, electronic waste like TV, CD, floppies, etc., which is also known as e-waste. How shall we dispose of this solid waste? We can use open burning in case it produces a very little amount of pollution, in case only. Then biodegradable materials can be used for sanitary landfills, that is composting can be done where it can be later on converted into manure. Then the recyclable things can be given to rag pickers or your kabadiwalas. Some of the things can be left for natural breakdown. Whatever can be recycled must always be recycled. The last process is incineration. Incinerator is a device which reduces the size of non-biodegradable waste like plastic by heating it to a certain temperature. It is combustion by heating. It just raises the temperature and hence reduces the amount of pollutant. Fine children? So let us now recapitulate what have we learnt in today's class. We learnt about water pollution, its causes, its effects and the control methods. We learnt about the sources of water pollution. We learnt about eutrophication and accelerated eutrophication. We learnt about biological oxygen demand and algal bloom. Then we discussed the integrated wastewater treatment and the solid waste and its disposal. So students, I hope you learned and understood what I taught. Until next class, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Take care. Goodbye.